It's the beginning of 2023, and that means we have all of December monthly real estate numbers to review as well as the yearly numbers to find out where did we start, where are we at, and where are we going. I'm Alex Saldana. I try to keep everybody up to date on what the market is actually doing versus just following what the headlines are saying. And if you're new here and you love this sort of information, consider subscribing. So let's jump right in, starting off with the average closed price in Denver as well as nationwide. Are we on trend? Are we off trend? Are we doing better? Are we doing worse? Let's take a look. So this is the Denver metro market. And as we know, April 2022 was the peak. 600,000 was the average price closed in the Denver market, and we just keep trickling down every single month. So November was at 540 in the average close price, and December down to 535. So we just keep up on this trend. Now, from where we are today to where we were in the beginning of April, we are down 10%, but year over year, we're still up a little bit. Now, nationwide, when we look at the median sales price, we can see here, we're at 352 for the end of December, and at the end of November, we were at 354, so not much. But what you're going to see here is, this yellow line and this black line, they're about to potentially cross. So the orange line is 2021, the black line is 2022. So if we keep up on the same trajectory of decreasing in our average prices, soon we're going to have the headlines showing that real estate is finally down. Now, the number of new listings, we're looking at a 3-year time period here. The number of new listings just plummeted. We had 2,800 new listings in the Denver market. To get that equivalent of new listings, we've got to go back quite a few years. So we've got to go back to, 2015 to get the same number of new listings. So this is what's helping stabilize our price here in Denver as well as nationwide, is that there just isn't a lot of inventory coming onto the market. So we're kind of feeling this balancing act right now. We're not continuing to plummet in price. Yeah, we're dropping in price a little bit, just correcting. But overall, inventory wise, we don't have an excess supply of houses. Now, nationwide, the number of new listings, it's the same exact trend. In December, it was the lowest number of new listings nationwide that we've had in the last 4 years. Active listings on the market. So this is following a trend, but what we can see here is that the active listings are going down. So that means our supply is actually tightening a little bit, meaning there's still buyers out there, which there always will be no matter what market we're in, but we have less inventory for them to choose from. So we actually dropped. November, we had 12,760 active listings on our MLS, and now we're down to 8,500. I mean, that's a 30+% drop in the amount of listings on the market. That's a big drop. Let's look nationwide. So nationwide, we can see we went down a little bit. We went from 850,000 down to 765,000. So not, maybe 10% of an adjustment there, down, but still not nearly as low as what 2021 was. Not a surprise there. 2021 was not a benchmark year. It was an anomaly. Pending listings. All right. So this is what's driving lower prices, is just purely the amount of properties to go pending and to close. So once again, we dropped down. We got 3,600 under contract in the month of December. And you can see over the last 3 years, that's the lowest month we've had. In the last 5 years, we touched that number in 2018, essentially. So not a crazy number that we're seeing here, maybe just back to normal. Nationwide, what we're looking at here is well down as well. This is the lowest month of pending sales we've had in the last 4 years. Closed listings, here is the driver of the price drops. So we can see statistically, closings are just going down. We closed 4,100 in the month of December, but every year we can see come December, January, February, these are our lowest months of closings. But let's go back a little bit, because if we go back just a few years, we can see in 2019, we closed 3,600, 2018, 3,800. Let's go back even further. So, we go back 5, 6 years and we see we're just in the normal range. We're not in any shocking territory, I should say it that way. The average days on the MLS has skyrocketed over the last few months. I mean, look, in May, we were at an average of 4 days on the market, and now we're at 31. So this feels like a big shock to most sellers. When we talk to people, we're telling them, hey, everything's staying on the market for anywhere from 30 to 90 days on average. Depends on your price point, location, all that good stuff. But once a couple of weeks hits, we can wrap our minds around that before we go on the market. And then we go on the market, a week goes by and we have a couple of showings. 2 weeks go by and we have a couple of more showings. And so you start to feel this panic as the seller. Even though we've prepared you, in reality, it feels different once you're on the market. The median days on market is starting to tick up there. We're looking at an average of 40 days nationwide to be on the market currently, which is more than 2021. It's more than 2020. However, it's not more than 2019. Back in 2019, the average days on market was 53 days on market. So put that into perspective for a second, because I know we've been going through an intense couple of years here. However, in the big picture, we're not, once again, in these crazy numbers. Month supply of inventory. This one is a little surprising. So this relates back to the amount of new listings to come back on the market. We are down to 1.4 months of inventory here in Colorado, where if we look back 15 years or so, 13 years, we can see that historically this is extremely low for the amount of inventory that we have. And nationwide, we can see that, we've got more inventory than 2020, 2021, but still less than 2019. So we're still in a balanced zone, folks. Now here, the amount of showings till a property goes pending is 12 in the Denver market, meaning on average, if you've had 12 showings, statistically, you'll be under contract. And then the amount of showings per listing is at 4.9 showings per listing. So if you're getting about 5 showings per month per listing, and it takes 12 showings on average to go under contract, that's a little over 2 months for most properties out there. Now, this number isn't available nationwide, at least through Redfin data, unfortunately, but I'm going to assume it's probably close. So what does this mean so far? I mean, our average close price right now in Denver is $535,000. 12 months ago, our average close price was $520,000. So we're still up a few percent year over year. But if we continue on the same trajectory, soon enough, our numbers will cross and we will start showing a year over year decline. However, we are 10% down from the peak so far. In 2008, the last crash that happened, I know everyone's referencing the 2008 crash in comparison today. And what I'm here to tell you is that it is not the same situation. And I'm going to invite you to watch the video that's going to come up here because I go into the deep dive numbers on what the situation was like in 2008, especially the loan to value. So big number here. Back in 2008, on average, we were at 37% loan to value. Today, we're at 21%. So we are not nearly as leveraged today as we were then. We also don't have foreclosures. We also don't have distressed landlords because the job market is so strong. Until the job market changes, until we have a flood of inventory, I actually think we're going to be in a fairly balanced market for both sellers and buyers, and this might only last 6 months. So if you look statistically, there's really not many times we're in a balanced market. We might be in it for 6 months while going up. We might be in it for 6 months going down, and I think that's the window that we're currently in. Are we going to bounce up and get into multiple offers come this spring? Potentially, it could happen. There's just not a lot of inventory. Could we see the flood of inventory double like we have in previous years? Absolutely, which might drive prices down because closings are down overall. At the end of the day, do what makes sense for you and your family, whether it's buying, whether it's selling. And if you got any questions, feel free to reach out. And until the next time, happy housing.